Your Miami Dolphins are 1-0, beating the Los Angeles Chargers. I am Kai Chan Chisholm. I am your new Dolphin inside linebacker. Joining me to the right is Mr. Juan Cardona, and below him is Nando, aka at Sports Live 305. Juan, I'm going to mute your mic because I can hear your YouTube TV playing. The Miami Dolphins, against all odds, with a defense that was playing absolutely horrendous, came away with a win, a statement game by the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa, and an amazing, just everything amazing. Everything about that amazing. Juan, I'm going to throw it to you first. The Miami Dolphins won 36-34. Your initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts, Tua balled out. Tyreek definitely carried. The run game was efficient. Like, I know more people maybe would have wanted more run game. I definitely didn't. I specifically said at halftime we're gonna live and die by Tyreek and Waddle, and we live, bro. Defense, as much as I want to shit on them for 34 points, they did their job. They made the 1-2 plays that we needed at the end to just get us over the top, which is, I guess, all we needed, because that offense was clicking, bro. There was nothing stopping Tua in the offense.
Yeah, that was just, Nando, I see we're rocking it today. We both got it. Shout out to my girlfriend's parents. They bought me this one. Just Nando, QB1, everyone was shitting on him. Juan was shitting on him as soon as that interception happened. And look where we are. Look what happened. Your thoughts, week one, immediate thoughts right now.
Yo, what does Tua do after he makes a mistake? What does he do? He comes back and delivers. We've seen this story before, but now we see it in a better fashion. Tua looked amazing out there, man. The ball placement, those passes to Barrios, they were on the money. 450 plus yards. He ended up with 466, 3 touchdowns, man. And it was impressive, man. The outing from Tua was honestly impressive. Yeah, Tyreek Hill balled the hell out, but there was a lot of those balls were on the money, man. They were really on the money. And the ball placement from Tua, it's like, man, it makes me think, like, what the hell was all this chatter about? Tua this, Tua that. Hey, listen, I know the haters are shook, man. The haters are shook right now. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can't believe I just can't believe. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was going into this game. I thought we would win. Shout out to Captain Canada and shout out to Mr. Royal. I know that they said that we were gonna win. I can't remember off the top of my head, Nando, if you predicted a win. I know Juan predicted a loss.
Predicted a loss. I'll be honest. I predicted a loss.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the Basement's just social media team, graphics team, just because everybody, Juan included, because he's been doing some great shit. They've been putting up amazing things. Justin, who's backstage, Scott, everybody, everyone has been putting up some fantastic
Everybody
shit.
Been fucking grinding here.
If you haven't gone to the Twitter, it's at Basement Sports Network. You need to go and you need to go check out this shit. It's amazing graphics work. But just I predicted a win, but I did not think it was going to be like this. I truthfully thought we would see like a nice 27-20, get in there, nice good old game. It is what it is. And I'm not gonna lie. Me and Juan were here. We were watching together as the final game, things was taking off. I think the thought from all Dolphins fans, and especially I know the vibe, me and you, Juan, once that extra point was missed, it just went into an instant, oh my God, we're gonna fucking lose this game, aren't we? To get home when it mattered most, I'm very, very happy. I want to just touch. I know we said, yeah, the game with Tyreek, everything like that, but just what a game, what a statement on opening weekend to have a game like this, both from the Chargers and the Dolphins, but from Tyreek Hill. Just what an opener. Nando, this guy, he's going to go for 2,000 yards. Hell, he might get to 2,500.
He wants it, man. He wants it. He said it. He put the target on himself. This is what I love about Cheetah, bro. He put the target on himself in early, like June, whenever his podcast came out. Like, he wants all the smoke. He's going for it. And just if you thought that it was going to take some time or he was going to get in the groove, 200 plus, damn, bro. And the way he was just making it happen out there, bro. He was making guys miss off the catch, doing what he does and scoring touchdowns. Remember last year, we didn't really see too much Tyreek touchdowns, but we saw it today. I mean, what a start, bro! 200 yards and catching touchdowns. I think he wants it, and I think he's gonna get it. We talked about it too on the stream during the preseason, and I think he's on his way to get it, bro. Most receiving yards. Take that bet if you haven't. I think it's a good one to take.
Is a lock, a literal lock. Juan, Nando mentioned something very, very crucial there. Touchdowns. Last year, we saw a lot from Tyreek in terms of, the yards, the receptions, everything like that. But the touchdowns, do you think he keep up a pace touchdown-wise like this?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't see it. Like I think eventually you start to see Waddle get more involved. Smythe is gonna get involved. The run game will get more involved. Hell, Alec Ingold I think scored a touchdown too. If not, he was close enough to get one. So I think the touchdown pace, I personally don't see it happening. The yardage though, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting because he got 211 and two had like 466 passing, I think, something like that.
11 receptions on 15 targets for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. So
Average
that
19.5 per reception and had a 49 for long. 9 first downs this game receiving.
So I definitely think I definitely don't think the pace for the touchdowns will be there. The passing yards is interesting though. Like I could definitely see. I mean, 2,000 seems I even like easy at this point. It's not even like doable.
It sounds like it just sounds like it's written in stone. That is the thing that it comes back to. I think that it is written in stone that this is going to happen. I mean, for all the talk in the offseason, for all the talk about the first game against the Chargers, the game last year against the Chargers, and we talked about in the halftime spaces, where it was me, Juan, Kendall, and Threat. But we talked about it in the spaces where it was a lot of going down the middle, a lot of targeting in the middle. Last year, one of the biggest things was, oh, well, they know to his game plan, he's going to go down the middle. They're just going to eat it up. And, after a whole off season of seeing that, they're just going to eat him up again and eat him up again. Going down the middle, I mean, Tua was killing them. He had some questionable throws in triple coverage, but I mean, he was killing them. Juan, I know that you're one of the biggest Tua haters out there. What do you think just about, kind of the game plan by Mike McDaniel and Tua actually executing it?
That I mean, that's the key part in that you said there. It's Mike McDaniel had an excellent game plan because that first 2 drives was just methodical. I mean, outside of like 2 bad snaps, we probably blow this team out by a good another 7 to 10 points. So for me, the game plan was solid. It was the difference between this game and the last Chargers game. It was just Tua. Like, there's no other way around it. You can scream at me until you're blue in the face. Like, Tua was the difference between what we saw last Sunday night and what we just saw this Sunday night. The guy had it going. There was obviously a couple times where the Chargers adjusted. He started to feel that, and then you saw him again start to adjust to their adjustment, which was nice to see. I did not expect like that shot call right after the turnover, I think it was. So that was nice to see after the punt, excuse me. So that was nice to see. And overall, just a solid game by everybody. I do think moving forward, you have to start feeding other people. Craycraft had a couple passes. Barrios has to get involved. I would love to see Easy get involved too, outside of just running the ball. Get him some stuff going, short screen stuff like that. Because teams will start to tee off on Tyreek, and then it's on us to start to adjust off of that.
This comment proves something very, very vital, I think, that we saw today. And Nando, I want to get your thoughts on the offensive line. A lot of talk coming into this game, especially with Teron Armstead and others being out. Before we say anything, and I'm not even going to bring the Canadian Wonder yet because I just want to hear this man talk his shit. Threat, the floor is yours.
Go! What a game. My boy, too. Hey, shootout king. He's the shootout king. Don't play with him. He shot out with Lamar Jackson last year, took the dub. He shot out with Justin Herbert this year, took the dub. The throw on third down to Tyreek Hill, the bomb, a dub. The fade in the back of the end zone, Tyreek, a dub. Like, stop playing with Tua. He's here, bruh. He's here. Crown him. Crown him. Crown him.
My StreamYard's not working. Justin, nothing's working. Help. I'm in no man.
I think Kai's lagging a bit.
Let's go.
Everyone else can hear me?
I can hear you.
God.
Yeah,
I
let's
am.
fucking
Dude,
go.
I was in like no man's land.
All
My,
right, you're
my
back.
entire thing just completely shut off. I mean, that was amazing. A little bit of dead air there, but that was amazing threat. Captain Canada, I got to get your thoughts as well.
Let's fucking go are my thoughts. My stream was behind. That's why I'm not here on time. Just want to put that out there. So I'm not on Twitter the whole game. And I love seeing what the boys are saying. I love seeing what everyone's saying. Obviously, the basement boys. Obviously, everyone else. I love it. Fucking money. I'm shitting bricks watching the whole game. I'm thinking when Jason Sanders missed that extra point, by the way, oh my God, fucking idiot. Sorry. He's a fucking dummy. But when he misses the extra point, I'm like, well, it's over because they're going to run down our fucking throat like the bitches we are tackling against the run. And it's over. They're just going to run down, kick the field goal. But guess what? Justin Herbert's a fucking fraud. Doesn't want to throw anywhere deep down the field when it really matters. And guess what? They lose. Because we finally got a sack, by the way, at the end of the game. But that's why, because Justin Herbert's a fraud. And we can finally start talking about it. Because guess what? He makes one throw a game. And it makes it on SportsCenter. And then everyone goes, whoa, that's crazy. But then when you actually watch him and he checks down every play to Austin Eckler, which is why he had 107 receptions last year, no one seems to care. But when Tua checks down, everyone seems to care. So I love that Tua laid his balls out on the fucking table. Yeah, he threw a pick. Who gives a fuck? It was 3rd and 12. You throw it down the field instead of fucking checking it down. That's why we win that game. Shout out to McDaniel. Shout out to fucking Vic Fangio. McDaniel wrote with his guys. Yeah, you want to see him run the ball more. It didn't really work out. But guess what? The defense worked out. Let's fucking go.
All right, Nando, we can try to get a little bit into the offensive line now just to get back to that, but I had to get energy in the room again. The offensive line. I mean, there was a lot of talk. Kendall Lamb, Isaiah Wynn had great games. That time, man. Your thoughts on the O-line and how they played?
I think the O-line was solid. I mean, no Teron Armstead. I was freaking out a little bit before the game. I was like, that's a big blow going against Khalil Mack and Bosa, but the boys held their own, man. Shout out to Austin Jackson, by the way. You know, we roast him a lot on this show, rightfully so. But yeah, he's had a solid preseason and he had a solid outing today. Now, Connor Williams, I don't know what's up with that man's ass. I mean, this dude demanded money for what? I mean, you can't even get your shit together. You can't even snap the ball right. He honestly could have cost us the game. He really could have. But shout out to Tua. He delivered through adversity with no Teron Armstead, with Connor Williams like botching snaps left and right. This dude just through adversity delivered. 3rd down, money plays. You know, you can make all the excuses in the world, and he was just not rocking with that this year, man. Tua really delivered, but I thought the O-line was pretty solid with the exception of Connor Williams. I'm not trying to pay that man the money he wants if he's going to be snapping the ball like that. But honestly, we should just move him back to guard and try to get a center in here ASAP. That's my thoughts on the line.
Yeah, and I mean, when you need great protection like Tua had today, you have to go to the primary sponsor of the Basement Sports Network, Simple Health Advisors. Insurance does not need to be complicated. Every time that I've done this ad read, I've always said when I had complicated insurance and horrible insurance, it was the worst time of my life. Paying for bills here in America, Captain Canada does not know that, is hard and difficult. It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be difficult. Email them or give them a call today and tell them that we, the Basement Sports Network, sent you. You can email James Poe at jpough@simplehealthadvisors.com or call him at 321-345-7738. Juan, your thoughts on the offensive line today?
I'm gonna be real. I thought they were ass. I thought Tua mitigated a lot of stuff, and
the left side was at least good. I think personally.
Nah. Kendall Lamb was getting wrecked by fucking Bosa and Mac. And listen, to be fair, most guys do. Like, I'm not sitting here and acting like those guys are scrubs. Like, nah. But it was a lot of pressures. I felt like I would have to look at the numbers. I don't think they got any sacks, but I think they definitely got a lot of pressures. I don't like the O-line moving forward at all. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Connor is a liability. Like, it's not. It's like Matt Skura on like crack right now. Like
Sorry, can I say Matt
Skura
Skura is a crazy pull? That's a crazy pull.
Because he could not snap he had the yips apparently. I don't are yips contagious? I don't know what goes on to be a center. maybe it's more him and Tua need to get more in sync. I guess, I suppose. But the O line is a concern right now. And McDaniel, for all the lip service he wants to do about running the ball, he wants to win and score points, and that's going to be through passing the ball. So it's not really. I don't like the recipes that we're cooking with right now.
Mr. Captain Canada.
All right, so I think going forward, like regardless of what you think about the injuries and stuff, Teron Armstead is going to be on the team just because of the contract, yada yada yada. Like he's on the team, so Teron Armstead's there. What you want to do with Isaiah Wynn, if you can get him on a cheap contract, obviously we'll have to see the rest of the year. Like I don't know, left guard's kind of up in the air still. Center, so Connor Williams to me, with all the guys we have to bring back, like Robert Hunt, who's at right guard. We already re-signed Zach Sealer, but Christian Wilkins, there's a pretty good chunk of free agents who we have to bring back, and you're kind of going to have to decide who you're going to let go. And Connor Williams is a part of that group. And like, honestly, depending on how he plays and obviously the way it's looking like right now, like he would be the guy I think you just move on from. I think it's very possible for you to draft a center on day 2 and develop him into what you want to be. Obviously, he wouldn't be exactly what Connor Williams is as a run blocker and a pass protector, but at least he should be able to snap the ball, considering you're hoping you're drafting a legitimate center out of college. So to me, like he's the guy you can move on from, not pay like 8 to 10 million a year, probably around there. I don't know really what his contract would be looking like, but I'm assuming it'd be around those numbers, those figures. So to me, like that's a contract you can move on from, maybe draft a guy, because as of right now, like he's missing snaps. I have to look at it because I will say, obviously I love Tua, but like it is possible that Tua messed up on a couple of those as well. But it does seem to be Connor Williams' issue, because even the last one, it's not perfect. It's not his ankles or anything, but it's not great either. And like, you have to understand, quarterbacks aren't even looking at the ball. They're just catching it while they're scanning the field. So it has to be a pretty good snap for it to kind of work out. So to me, Connor Williams is a guy who I'm not really looking to bring back. And then obviously you have Robert Hunt as a staple at right guard. And then Austin Jackson's kind of a work in progress at right tackle. That's still a position you probably want to fix. So it's unfortunate, but I think you lose out on Connor Williams next year. You bring back Robert Hunt, and you really only have 2 legitimate long-term answers, if you even want to call Teron Armstead that left tackle, because he's injured half the time anyways.
All right, let's get to something. Even we're getting down with the offensive line here. Obviously, you guys not on the same page as Nando and I. Let's get to something even more upsetting, and let's talk about the Dolphins' run defense. 234 yards allowed on 40 carries. The Chargers had 2 rushers with 16 carries each, in Austin Eckler and Joshua Kelly. If you had to, for whatever reason, in a 16 team or whatever team league you needed to start Joshua Kelly in, well, guess what? He got you 16 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Austin Eckler, 16 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Justin Herbert had a touchdown. Keenan Allen had 6 yards. Gerald Everett had 2 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, a long of 55, 234 yards rushing. Nando, the Dolphins had a pretty good, if not almost great, run defense last year, almost the past 2 years. But it just today was horrendous. I mean, Justin Herbert didn't even beat them at all. I think there was even one drive where when they scored a touchdown, Justin Herbert threw the ball once for an incompletion, and the rest of the time it was rush, and they scored a touchdown. What do you need to do next week to mitigate this and try to at least maybe even put a Band-Aid on what's happening right now?
Listen, I'm trying to make sense of it. I mean, some of the shit I saw today was just ridiculous, especially that one run up the middle by Eckler. Like, what the hell was that about? Like you mentioned last year, a lot of people didn't give, I feel like, as much credit as they deserve for stopping the run, but I think they did. They gave up a couple big plays, big running plays here and there, but for the most part, they were solid in the front against the run. But today, I mean, that was inexcusable. 234 yards, and then the backup, Kelly, gets 91 yards. What needs to happen? I think it's better. I was gonna ask you guys that question, because they look lost out there. And I hope that's just a one game thing. That play right there. I mean, like, how can I explain, like, where's the people in the middle? I mean, where the hell are they at? Better linebacking play will be nice, by the way. Just want to say that, and you've been critical of the linebackers all off season on this show, Kai. So better play from the linebackers. Better, I'd like to see moving forward.
I've been critical about the fact that nobody knows how to tackle. I mean, just if you want to look at stats and you want to stat box watch only, Javon Holland had the most tackles on the team, 10 of them solo, 4 assisted.
That's
Deshaun
horrible.
Elliott had 13, 8 solo. And then the next was Jaylen Phillips. I was saying in our Dolphins chat that I think I said Phillips, Holland, and I might have said Deshaun Elliott as well. We're the only ones tackling, and it looks like, just by the stat box, they are the only ones tackling. Captain Canada, you said just then that's terrible. I mean, it is. What do you do? I mean, there were plays where Jerome Baker, and I want to highlight him specifically, was just lost. I mean, absolutely, completely lost. What do you do to try to help fix this? Captain Canada.
Sorry, I was lagging. So you're talking about the linebackers, right?
Yeah, and I want to say,
Okay.
let's say more specifically, Jerome Baker. I mean, what do you do to help try to fix that?
Well, we already knew him in the run game, shedding blocks. That's not a strong suit. He's more of a kind of athlete who you like to run man on man. Even he had that drop back into coverage where he didn't get enough depth, and Herbert was able to kind of feather it over him to, I believe it was Mike Williams on one of the 3rd and longs. Jerome Baker does have to get better in a lot of ways. Honestly, he hasn't developed as much as you would have wanted him to. I feel like we've been saying the same stuff about Jerome Baker in terms of what he needs to improve on for so long. It's always been get better starting blocks against the run, and get better kind of in those zone matchups. Whereas when he's man on man with a running back, you kind of feel good about it, even though I feel I don't feel great about it all that time. But he's a good athlete, good at tackling in space. But to me, it's bringing in David Long should have been a big help just because he's great at getting downhill and you can kind of pass those options off. The issue is in Fangio's defense, you kind of have to be able to do everything as a linebacker in the middle there. I'm not really sure what you can do other than maybe go out and get a nose tackle. But at this stage in the game, at this stage in the free agent cycle, already playing the first week 1 games, there's not a lot of notable names out there. So that is something you're going to have to look to address. I like Raekwon Davis, and I think I said this, for this defense where the bane of it is going to be opposing run games, you're just never going to be good against it. You just want to be average at best. And if you can do that and be a stud against the pass, that's going to be great. That's kind of what Vic Fangio's always done. I think you can't be just good or average at nose tackle or at defensive tackle. You have to be above average because, again, you're sacrificing so much against the run to really kind of shut down the pass. And you saw that in this game as they ran all the way over us. So I think going and getting a big nose tackle would be what you want to do. But honestly, looking at the cap space, I don't even know if that's going to be a possibility unless you draft one. So that's the way I would help Jerome Baker, is kind of make it almost even not on him at all. You're trying to kind of keep him out of that situation anyways. But I think helping Jerome Baker, it's just going to be a lot of putting him in the right situations for him to succeed, where he can use his freak athleticism to kind of to make him a better player. You're just putting him in a better situation where he's not doing the things that he struggles to do.
So Juan, unless you have something to say on this, I want to kind of pivot towards our players of the game.
Yeah, just real quick. There's nothing you can do, legitimately. And that's not to be funny or a dick, but all you're gonna do is get the same 11 to 18 players that were just on the field today, and you're going to sit them down tomorrow or 2 days from now, and you're going to say, guys, we need to try harder. And that's about it. The scheme is the scheme, right? Maybe they get a little more comfortable. They realize that the run stuff here and the run fit here, you go here. Timing of it that can improve and will improve. Jerome Baker will not improve. That's not happening. That he is who he is at this point in the game. David Long, again, if we can get 13 games out of him, I think we're all happy. And listen, if you don't count that last drive, our pass rush was non-existent. There was no Bradley Chubb came to collect a check and just walked home.
Okay, but we will look. I don't want to sit here and defend Bradley Chubb and the pass rush too much today, but I think it's undeniable to sit there and look at the fact that they were getting there. It was, and I know it's the same thing that happened last year, was pressures, but not finishing off the job. That was a lot of what we saw today, in my opinion. I mean, especially when me and you were watching, there were times where I kept saying, Bradley Chubb's right there. He's right there. Jalen Phillips
But,
is right
look
there.
at the
But they weren't
plays
getting
that
home.
won us the game.
No, of course.
It was the sacks.
No, of course.
And that's why
Thing is-
and look, not to be again a dick, but that's why Christian Wilkins is not gonna get paid what he thinks he's gonna get paid. Like those sack plays are the ones that fucking count, bro. Those are the ones that finish games, that close them out, that literally close the door, and there's nothing else you could do. And unfortunately, like Christian's just not that type of dude.
So I want to just, I guess, pose this with the pass rush, and I just because I thought of it just now, and Nando, I'll throw it to you really quickly just to comment on it before we get into our players of the game. In soccer, you see a lot of times where, and it's even with kickers in football, where a lot of times, like when you're going through a rut, you just want to see the ball go through the net, you just want to see the ball go through the back, through the post. Do you think with a guy like a Bradley Chubb, it's just about finally getting that sack, getting that one sack, half sack? I mean, even with Jalen Phillips today. They only credit him for half a sack, but I believe he should have had 1 or 1.5. That is just about getting that sack before we see something. And you think there's nothing left there.
No, I think there's a lot left there. I expected Bradley Chubb to have a huge bounce back year. Honestly, I liked how he performed under Fangio's defense in the past, and I think last year he got a bad rap. He came in the trade deadline. He was used to being in Denver, then he was battling an injury, and then he had to learn in a scheme and all these things. So I put last year behind me, and I was expecting a big year out of Bradley Chubb. And I'm not going to overreact to week 1. I think he's talented as hell. I'm rooting for him a couple times. I thought he was going to be the one. Honestly, real talk, I honestly thought that he was going to be the one to get a big-time sack to close the game out. I really did think that. And so with that being said, if I felt that way, then I have to say that I honestly believe that a player as talented as Bradley Chubb, I think he's like a sack away or something, just a good game to really get a rhythm going and then take off from there. I guess you could put him in like a J.R. Smith comparison. Once the ball goes in a couple times, maybe he'll take off from there. But I think 1 sack and then he'll turn up. I think Bradley Chubb's going to be all right.
Captain Canada, I want to throw to you to start with our players of the game. I want you to give offensive and defensive player of the game. And if you say Tua, I'm booting you from the stream.
I know. It's actually Alec. No, it's Tyreek Hill. He's the offensive player of the game. I actually want to just shout out Raheem Mostert. He didn't get a bunch of touches, but just putting it out there that he had a crazy chip block on Joey Bosa when we scored the first passing touchdown. We don't score without it. So just putting that out there. But no, it's Tyreek Hill. He had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's ridiculous. Probably is going to go for 2K. Defensively, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't a great game. I do have a couple of candidates. X was in there before the 2.
All right, Captain Canada, relax. It was one game. It was one player. You're gonna take everybody's players right now. I already see you going on a roll.
Okay. I'm taking Javon Holland. Then I feel like he was everywhere.
Okay,
making stops when it was getting there.
Sorry,
so I'll take Javon Holland.
I didn't mean to do your job, but that it was
no. I was gonna.
Oh, you're right.
I was gonna butt in, so
everyone.
don't worry. I was about to cut him off with the X stuff, especially because I think a lot of those penalty calls on him were absolutely asinine. Juan, I'm gonna let you kind of chime in here. Your player of the game, offense and defense.
Oh, offense and defense. My bad, Captain Canada. I thought we were just doing one. Defense. Listen, I have been. I don't want to say a hater because I just didn't care for him. I just didn't think Cater Cole was anything. I really thought he was just a guy. The guy flies around. The guy makes big tackles. The guy makes sacks. I've never seen a young cornerback go from slot to outside in the manner that they do with Cater. Like there's a lot of trust that goes into getting a young guy to play slot alone, let alone in the same game, flip them to outside and have that be a constant thing. So for me, Cater balled the fuck out, bro. Honest to God. Like I was so shocked with him in there. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I feel like Tyreek is the obvious layup. Tua as well, as much as it pains me to say.
That's crazy. As much as it pains me to say, my starting quarterback was a good player today.
I'm gonna say Robert Hunt, bro. Robert Hunt. For all this shit.
Asshole, you took my fucking player.
Did I actually? I pulled that one out my ass. I was like, I'm gonna give it to one of these online. No, I'll pick someone else. I think Durham Smythe showed that he's like.
That was my backup.
That's crazy.
I don't think. Yeah, he showed today he's not complete ass. Like he's not like a fifth tight end. He's a solid tight end too. Like I respect it. Like I see the vision.
No one's taking Connor Williams. That's
I mean, dude, just he woke up feeling dangerous today. Nando, your offensive and defensive player of the week.
Well, those very solid picks from Juan. I was gonna pick Cater, to be honest, but I'm gonna have to pivot on that one. I'm gonna go with on defense. I'm gonna go with Jaylen Phillips, picking up 11 total tackles, a lot of quarterback rushes, 2 QB hits, and a half a sack, which came late in the game, which was big time. Where it was, I believe it was him, Sealer, and Wilkins on that. That was big time. I think he's set to have a pretty dominant year. I'm pretty sure all of us agree on that. And on offense, obviously, Tyreek is an easy pick. Tua is an easy pick. So with what I have left here, I'm gonna go with Braxton Berrios. Honestly, I think he was clutch, man. That third down, like right on the sideline, to make that catch. The throw was on the money, but the catch was on the money. And then he followed up with another one, scooping that ball up, maintaining possession. Chargers challenged it to no avail, and that was a solid catch from Berrios. I think he was solid, man. He played very, very well. Took the pressure off Tyreek and Jaylen a little bit. Having a guy like that could be a wide receiver 3, just making some catches. You love to see it. So I got Berrios and Jaylen Phillips as my players of the game on each side.
Being the host sometimes is bad because all of your players get taken. Went from Robert Hunt to Durham Smythe to Braxton Berrios. Wait, I will bring this up. Shout out to Alex for the $2 dono. He said, I believe he meant to say Sanders, still in this team after last year. I will tell you why, because Jason Sanders.
That bum doesn't even deserve me to say his name right. He's Saunders for the
great NFL kicker.
We're gonna go to Europe and we're gonna leave his ass over there.
I will not allow Jason Sanders slander. Jason Sanders is a very, very good kicker.
Left leg Sanders kicking right-legged.
He is a great kicker. Shout out to Alex for the dono, though. He was 3 for 3 today on his field goals.
He's great. He's like the Dolphins' all-time leader in percentage.
I just want to put that out there. He's very,
well, guess
very
what?
good.
It doesn't feel like it. It don't feel like it.
It's because you guys just don't know anything about special teams.
That punter too, brother.
No one wants to hear me go off about why the punting is bad. I'm sure you guys saw what I said already in the Twitter chat. I still think that Michael Turk was unjustly cut, but that's just my personal opinion. I think Jake Bailey will get it together because he's shown that he could be a dominant punter in the past.
I wanted Thomas Morstead. He did more push-ups than Tua did. I swear to God, he did.
I did not want Thomas Morstead, especially after looking at the statistics and net punting yards. My players of the week on both sides of the ball. I'm going to go on offense, River Craycraft, and I'm going to say River Craycraft because I think
they called us madmen, Kai, when we said Craycraft overchosen.
They called us mad. They called us insane.
They called us crazy,
dude.
I'm just sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
It's true though, because it was all this hype about Chosen Anderson. He's not even Robbie Anderson. All this hype about Robbie fucking Anderson to just be on the goddamn practice squad. I don't want to hear anything about Robbie Anderson again. He had one good year in his entire NFL career, and that's it.
We got white chocolate in the fucking house.
I don't want to talk about it. I think with River Craycraft, I'm just happy with his game overall. He had 5 targets, 3 receptions for 40 yards and a touchdown. I'm really, really happy because I think there were sections of us that worried about how we were going to replace that wide receiver 3 in Trent Sherfield, who went to Buffalo in the offseason. I think Braxton and River Craycraft kind of shared the mantle of being wide receiver 3 today. I think River had a really good game. I think Braxton obviously came up with some amazing clutch catches. And then on defense, I was I had everything taken away from me. I think that I want to go with Deshaun Elliott just strictly off of the fact that he was the only other person besides Javon Holland and Jaylen Phillips that know how to tackle somebody. Everyone else just can't tackle for the life of them. It's just I liked Deshaun Elliott. It kind of gave me the vibes, and I said it a few times over the offseason when we got Issa Abdul-Quddus, kind of just like that, just that safety where it was just kind of an interesting situation. Obviously they're not going to go out there and wow you, but just kind of that low-key signing that could be good, could be bad. Obviously from the lines, just like Issa Abdul-Quddus was. I think Deshaun Elliott's going to be able to do what he did in Detroit, which is just tackle. That's what he did in Detroit anyways. He was a tackle machine, And I think that the Dolphins need that, especially with the DB room. Just want to point out something really quick before we head out. Elaine Popard did tweet out, and I think this is nice to bring up, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Nando. He said, pretty crazy to think that the margin of victory for the Dolphins was the late first half field goal, which doesn't happen if Mike McDaniel decides to sit on the ball with 9 seconds left, and J.C. Jackson doesn't decide it's a good idea to shove Eric Ezukama in the back. Thoughts on just kind of that sequence? I was saying that J.C. Jackson was getting cooked all season. They're paying him a stupid amount of money, or all game, excuse me. They're paying him a stupid amount of money for the next 2 years because they can't cut him until 2025. Thoughts on just that kind of situation, that end of half sequence, and then also the way that they were using Eazy-E.
I like that Eazy was getting those carries. I thought that was very nice. We saw a couple flashes of those in the preseason, so it's nice to see it in the regular season. But I want to see him catching the ball. I want to see him out there throughout the season. So hopefully a bigger role is in store for him. But nice little sneak peek we saw. You know, we want to see production out of Eazy-E, man. We drafted him for a reason, so it's nice to see that. And honestly, man, not many coaches out there are letting their quarterback throw the ball there before the half. I was honestly surprised as hell. A couple seconds before, like right when we had the ball, I went to the kitchen and then I heard like, oh, we're running a play. And I was like, oh, damn, we didn't take a knee. And I was like, oh, shit. I was honestly shocked, man. I thought we were going to take a knee and take it right to the half. But, I mean, hey, it looks like a very, very good decision, man, to be honest with you. Thank you, J.C. Jackson. Shout out to him. He helped us out big time. Got away with a push off on that interception, but he got cooked by Tyreek, and he gave us those points, man. I thought that was big time. We like that tweet says, we probably don't win the game without that. And honestly, I think getting those 3 points made me feel better about the opening, the turnover in the beginning of the game on the first drive after the botch snap. It sat better with me throughout the game.
Any final thoughts from anybody before we just head out here?
I feel like we